Hey, we're here with my friends Russ and Sam today. We're going to try out this new larger brush mulcher. Russ and Sam have a 5410 John Deere. We'll show it more in a few minutes. This thing has never seen any brush yet. Let's see it turn. I think I'll step back. I can't wait to see this. Let's get started. Whoa, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It comes on quick and it'll pull that tractor down pretty hard.
Wow. I mean, that turned a two-hour job into a 10-minute job.
Yeah, with all three of us watching.
Yeah.
The only thing is we ought to be able to mulch those up. I think you can, it's hard for you to see, but sometimes when you're going forward, you're dragging those trees forward.
Okay.
Which I didn't with the little one, I think because the chain's on this one. And you should be able to mulch all those up.
Just back over them?
Back over them again.
Yeah.
I think I'll get the mower and I'll mow right around here so you can see it better.
Okay.
I thought he was just going to clear a tree or two. I think he's going to clear the whole hilltop.
So it looked like when you were backing over them to grind them up, you just let it all the way down on the ground, didn't you? Tim?
I did. I didn't like how the other mulcher keeps them back there a little bit longer and mulches them a little. Oh, I wonder if that's what we're supposed to shut the gate for. No?
Huh.
The point is it seems like this one's just grabbing them and throwing them through.
Chucking them through, yeah.
And so we're not able to mulch them as well.
You want to try it with the gate shut and see if it makes a difference?
Yeah, we've got a pile laying right over there we can try, don't we? I'll do that.
I said, and you can till up your field at the same time.
Yeah, this one is supposed to be able to mulch a little bit below ground. The smaller one is supposed to be at ground level. Did you see any difference?
I didn't see any difference when you were backing up. When you were running forward over it, it did look like it kind of chewed the stuff a bit better to me.
The only reason I picked it up was to try to get the stuff to feed under there.
Yeah.
Other than that, I tried to leave it all the way on the ground.
When you were backing up into it, it did shoot a piece way over there. Just grabbed
Yeah.
it, shot it out.
Yeah, we have to be very careful not to be in front of or behind the unit.
Yeah, it really fires them.
Looks like you did a little tilling here, huh?
This one's meant to be able to go below ground. That's good for your stumps, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because see, one of the big challenges when you mow a tree
Yeah.
is you can tear up a tire coming later.
Yeah.
That same day you won't have too much trouble, but when you come back later.
I've got many flat tires doing that.
How are you getting along, Sam?
Good. Yeah, that thing works great. It had a little trouble going up the hill and cutting at the same time.
Yeah.
The little tractor did. But
It's too small for the mower.
yeah.
But
The
it still
deck-
handles it.
The deck is great though, because since it's so wide, it's kind of the difference between making one pass or two passes.
Yeah.
You just do it one and done.
And you don't see behind your wheel tracks, you don't see the grass coming back up
Yeah.
that you see with a single blade mower.
Wow. Well, that turned about a 2-hour job into a 5-minute job.
So there at the end, it looked like to me you were purposely trying to leave a couple of trees.
Yep, I was trying to leave those 2 trees right there. I think they're cherry trees, I'm not totally sure, but they look like some nice trees. So I wanted to clear all the brush from around them while leaving them there.
How did you find it doing? I mean, it's pretty wide and
Yeah.
your tractor's pretty big.
The Baumalight stays pretty well within the tire width of the tractor. So if I was missing it with the tires, I was missing it with the Baumalight. So
Okay.
what do you say we go over and take care of some of those autumn olives over in the other field
Okay.
by the elm?
You know, like Tim was saying, Sambo, there aren't very many big elm trees left because Dutch elm disease
Yeah.
kind of killed them all, kind of like the ash borer. This stuff all really is pretty soft stuff that should chop up pretty easy, I think.
Okay.
Gives you some sense of what piece of land we're trying to clear here.
Yeah.
That autumn olive in there, he was saying, is so big. It's not, I mean, it's multiple stems, but.
Big branches.
Hey, turn it off! Turn it off! Hey!
So we're back now after tightening the slip clutch. Hopefully we got it tightened up that we won't smoke it again. Yeah, I don't really know if we're seeing the extra performance because of the higher horsepower tractor or because of the bigger mulcher. I think a little bit of both. I mean, I think the bigger mulcher is more aggressive about taking those trees in. But there's no way you could do that with a smaller horsepower tractor. I think this tractor's in the 80s of engine horsepower, low 80s, maybe about 65 PTO. We found it easier with the other one not to go so far in one stop, but to go about to your tractor axle and you just keep working your way across. I'm noticing that the chains definitely reduce the amount of forward thrown material. Having those 2 rows of chains really helps to keep it from throwing the material forward.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Look at this, he's taking 4 or 5 trees at one time.
Oh, no.
There he's slipping.
See, he should have seen that one coming.
Yeah, he saw it coming, but it's hard to react. we're certainly seeing the limits of the machine at this point. Well, or at least of how we've got the slip clutch set. We may need to tighten a little bit more.
So since it almost killed the tractor there, do you think we tightened it too tight?
No, I think it was slipping. I think it's okay to be able to kill the tractor.
Yeah.
I think there's difference between a slowly tractor dying and truly hitting something, just immediate stopping the thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's really grinding.
Oh my goodness, just absolute destruction.
He's also got a lot more clearance than this little tractor. He's able to drive over larger pieces than I can with this little tractor.
Yeah. Tell you what, it still shoots some stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, it's got a big log under it. But he's operating it exactly how you should. You've got to push it to its limit. That's how you've got to operate a machine like this.
Well, with something this dense, there's no way you could really take it in pieces. You
Not
just
really,
kind of have to plunge it in.
No. I think you're right.
Unless you just took a little off the edge each time, but that would take forever.
I think this would be pretty tough to do with this little tractor and a smaller mulcher. This is pretty big stuff. I thought the gear drive tractor would present more problems, but at least this tractor, it's got a pretty smooth clutch. Russ is doing a great job.
Well, yeah, he's just really good at it too. I mean, if you saw me earlier with it, I was a little jumpier just because I haven't driven in a couple of months, but.
I think he's got it. I think he's figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, it was a lot of fun to use that. It's quite a piece of machinery.
So we were critiquing what you were doing while you were gone. So let's see if Sammy implements any of those.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that gate, when you're coming forward, it wants to shoot it out over the top. I think closing the gate when you come forward and opening the gate when you're going into the tree.
He's got it closed right now.
Yeah, I think he's opening it, I think, is the right thing there. Yeah, I think he's doing the right thing by just, as soon as you hear it start to pull and start to pull in, you got to just stop and let it catch up right there.
But it does, you know, when it grabs something, it does happen so fast, it's almost like you can't
do anything about it.
When it hit those big 4-inch sassafras trees right there, that's when it kind of almost killed it.
Yeah, now do you think it was slipping at that point?
Oh yeah, it definitely was slipping.
I thought it was slipping.
It stopped a couple times, but then it started back up again.
Yeah. I think he closed the gate to come forward. I mean, it's doing an amazing job.
Oh yeah.
When you guys get done, we'll be able to mow this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now I wouldn't really want to hit some of these big things with my bush hog because it'd just scare the crap out of you.
Well, we've got to get those cut down to ground level.
Yeah.
I imagine after we get the whole thing done here, we need to go back over it again.
Yeah.
And
right.
Make sure we got.
And then if you got your bush hog right here, if you chew it up.
Yeah.
And go over it, then it'll be fine.
But that's why I always want it on the ground rather than off the ground.
Yeah.
Because I want those cut right at ground level.
Yep.
Boy, he's doing a great job with it. He was talking about how he wasn't very smooth with the clutch.
Yeah.
But it looks to me like he's doing really good.
Yeah.
This property is just amazing to us. I can see why you enjoy it so much.
Oh, thanks, man.
But I think I could about bush hog continuously back here.
Oh yeah, you can. It takes me 4 days to bush hog everything that I bush hog. And that's 4 pretty full days of work.
I would think so.
And that's, you know, all the way around these fields, back in the woods, I do trails, and then of course you can see all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've already bush hogged it all this spring once. Not everything, but probably 80%.
Yeah.
And then it's just been such a rain and everything, it goes up. switching drivers?
Yeah.
That little sumac just kind of just sucks right in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
Well, I thought it went through that small stuff just great. And the big stuff, I mean, it slowed down just a little bit, but it took care of it all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll eat a million of those small things at a time. You know, the big ones, maybe only one or two at a time, but it is about the dustiest thing you could possibly do out here. I mean, everything is covered in a layer.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm trying to decide whether a cab tractor or open station tractor is best, because if you look at what he's in right there, it'd be nasty to have that all over a cab, scratching up your windows.
Yeah.
Again, I think I wouldn't back in quite as far each time. I would drive out now where he is and not try to back the rest of the way in.
Yeah. He's probably thinking of it more like bush hogging, which is kind of what I was thinking of it, like where you just do a row, but not quite the same thing.
I found you get less on the tractor if you'll back in about 10 feet at a time and just take a, back in 10 feet or so and then move over and back in.
Yeah.
It looks to me like the biggest challenge is figuring out how to most effectively make it mulch.
Yeah.
It's easy to get the trees down.
Yeah, I'd say that is kind of hard because I had a couple that were knocked down, but then when they were on the ground, I kind of had to adjust the height a little bit to get them to really suck in there.
What are we doing?
So we're trying to clear all this underbrush around this big elm tree right here. And as Tim was saying earlier, there aren't many elm trees left because of the blight. And so we want to kind of be able to appreciate this one and without all this just growth up around it.
Yeah, I mean, if we left this for longer, that elm would, you wouldn't even hardly know it's in there.
No, yeah.
This other stuff will grow up quickly right around it.
And as Christy was saying earlier, there's a bunch of vines growing on the elm, which is not good for it. And so once we get all this cleared, we'll be able to kill those vines and hopefully just make this a nice, healthy elm tree.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to actually see what's going on with the elm once you get all this stuff out. The thing is, you've got 100 acres of areas like this that could be improved.
Yeah. But the animals, they like some stuff like that. I mean, we see rabbits out in this stuff all the time, and they're always hopping around. So.
I mean, that was fast.
Yeah,
That strip there was fast.
It definitely would be easier with a hydrostatic truck.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth.
Yeah, did a pretty good job mulching. He's got that door closed. It seems like having the door closed coming forward and open going backwards is about what you have to do. Yeah. That's leaving a good finish.
Yeah. No stems or really anything sticking up.
It requires a lot of concentration.
It certainly does. It would be really nice if it was front mounted.
Yeah.
If you could somehow get that going.
Well, that's probably a better approach. They make these for skid steers.
Yeah.
Not only are they front mounted, you can raise them up really high and bring them down on a tree. It's probably a better approach. This is just an approach that if you have a tractor and you don't want to rent a skid steer and all that. I mean, it costs a good bit to get a skid steer and a machine like this to come in and do this kind of work.
More fun to do yourself.
Yeah. One thing, well, it's harder to do with that tractor, but one thing I do is I set sideways on the tractor with my hydrostat.
Oh yeah.
I'll put both feet over here, and then I can spin around easier. So
Yeah.
I drive with my left foot. But with that clutch, it'd be harder to do that.
And it's surprising how accurate you can be with this thing. Like if you want to leave one tree, that's what I was doing earlier. I left a couple of trees back there.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could get pretty tight even around that elm and just take all the stuff and not hurt the elm at all.
That roll bar seems to help, even if it's not for safety. It just keeps those little limbs off your head.
Yeah.
After our recent experience with my dad passing, it's more valuable now for me to see a father and son working together. If I had the other one on, I would go out there and I think I could mulch that pile quicker with it than he can with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. He'd get the big stuff, and then you could go around and clean up all these extra little things. Christy has to be the bravest camera woman on YouTube. Uh-oh. Should have taken a before and after picture. Well, I guess we got it on video.
How about if you take your loader bucket and move the rest of that into the brush, because it's going to be hard to mow over that. I think we could have eventually got these mulched up with that 560 mulcher. I do believe that the 348 does a little better job. It's a little easier to mulch items than it is with this larger one. But for the sake of time, Russ has decided just to push them off in there. But given that they're all scarred up and already broken up, they'll rot pretty quick. Well, this was, I wouldn't say it's a quarter acre. It's probably not that big, is it? But
No.
a tenth of an acre anyway.
Yeah.
And you got this elm all exposed. He should have plenty of room to grow now.
Yeah.
He's gonna love it.
Was this kind of what you expected this mulcher to do?
Yeah.
I think so. Tim, yeah, it was a really incredible piece of machinery.
I didn't expect it to go that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did go faster than what I expected. I think that's because of your tractor. Now tell me just a little bit about this tractor. This is a 5410.
Yeah, it's a 5410. It's about circa 2000. Tim, it's an 85 engine horsepower, I think, or 81 and 65 PTO.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had it here for
Since it was
darn
new?
near 20 years. Yeah,
Okay.
thereabouts.
And it's got a standard shift. They call it a sync shuttle.
Yep.
So it doesn't have the power reverser or anything. But it was just a quick move from reverse to first where you needed to go. So
That's
it wasn't
right.
that big of a
And
deal.
we were driving it in A series gears and A1 and reverse. The
lowest
slowest,
speed.
the slowest speed possible.
Still too fast, wasn't it?
Still too fast. Still had to use the clutch a lot.
Yeah.
And really hold on that clutch to slow it down.
Yeah, if you had a creeper gear, it would be
Yeah.
a lot better for this. And they do offer a creeper transmission on the larger 5E tractors now. I don't think they offer it in the one that I have, the 5075, but the larger ones they do. So maybe you guys need a new tractor.
Maybe.
Hey, you also got to drive the 2038R and the Flex Swing.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was nice. I'd never driven a compact tractor like that before, and that was very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice.
It's pretty quiet too, the tractor.
Yeah, it is
not
quiet.
Not as loud as this one, and
Yep.
the hydrostatic transmission is nice.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's about it for this episode. We've torn up a lot of stuff around this elm tree, but you know, this is a wonderful property. We might have some more video coming up from this property because we got 100 acres to play on here.
Mm-hmm.
And more attachments on the truck.
More attachments to come.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
When you're bush hogging and extreme bush hogging like I do all the time, bud, you figure out which trees will knock you off the tractor and which trees are soft and which trees are hard. And sassafrasses are very soft, and actually they're very,
They're pleasant.
furry. They're pleasant. When they hit you in the face like this, it doesn't feel bad at all. But a hickory, it'll knock you off the seat. Right.